Mr. Strauss's chemistry corner is filmed before a live studio audience. You may not use any broadcast without my written express consent. And no laugh track was used at any point, and no atoms were hurt at all during the filming. Atoms. A-T-O-M-S, not A-D-A-M-S. So we're going to start our naming, and the first thing we have to do is we have to learn the names of the elements. Now, unfortunately, I've been doing a lot of talking. My voice is getting a little bit sore. So what I'm going to do is, I've got a little video clip that's going to go through all the names. So what I want you to do is, they're going to say the name, I want you to write it down, okay? And then the symbol. We're going to go through all 113 of them, okay? Just on a piece of scrap paper. Goes with 113 of them, it does go a little bit fast, so you gotta kind of stay up with it.
What if we don't know how to spell it?
Oh, it puts it up there for you to spell.
Wait, just right.
Name, symbol,
arsenic, aluminum, selenium, and hydrogen and oxygen and nitrogen and rhenium, and nickel, neodymium, neptunium, germanium, and iron, americium, ruthenium, uranium, europium, zirconium, lutetium, vanadium, and lanthanum, and osmium, and astatine, and radium, and gold, protactinium, and indium, and gallium, and iodine, and thorium, and thulium, and thallium. There's yttrium, ytterbium, actinium, rubidium, and boron, gadolinium, niobium, iridium, and strontium, and silicon, and silver, and samarium, and bismuth, lithium, beryllium, and barium. There's oleum and helium and hafnium and erbium and phosphorus and francium and fluorine and terbium and manganese and mercurium, molybdenum and magnesium, dysprosium and scandium and cerium and cesium and lead, praseodymium and platinum and plutonium, palladium, promethium, potassium, polonium and tantalum, technetium, titanium, tellurium, and cadmium and calcium and chromium and curium. There's sulfur, californium, and fermium, berkelium, and also mendelevium, isanium, nobelium, and argon, krypton, neon, radon, xenon, zinc, and rhodium, and chlorine, carbon, cobalt, copper, tungsten, tin, and sodium. These are the only ones of which the news has come to Harvard, and there may be many others, but they haven't been discovered.
Did you get them all? Not quite? So, you're not going to have to memorize all of those on the periodic table, because as you use them, you'll get familiar with them. However, on the downside, Mr. Kreben, it is required for chemistry teachers to learn the element song. It is, if you want to join the club, you must be a geek like the rest of us. And you have, well, actually, it's two choices. Either it's a periodic table tattoo, or learn the element song. So it's really up to you. But for the class, your quiz on Wednesday, you will need to know elements 1 through 20. So quiz on Wednesday, you need to know elements
I got it.
1 to 20. Now, most of them you probably already know. Like B is boron, C is carbon, N is nitrogen, O is oxygen, F is fluorine. For the most part, they all start with the first two letters of their name. So lithium is Li. There's your name, there's your symbol. But there are 11 of them that do not follow that pattern. They are based off of Latin roots. And so let's write those down, because you'll have to memorize those as well, Bethany. Those are on the quiz as well. All this stuff that we're covering today is going to be on our quiz on Wednesday. And it's just memorization. So we've got sodium is based on the Latin name for sodium, which is natrium. Therefore, it has the symbol Na. Potassium is based off the Latin kalium, so it is K. Iron, based off the Latin ferrum. Copper is Cu, not Co. It is based off the Latin cuprum. We have silver and gold. The symbol for gold is Au, after aurum. And the symbol for silver is Ag, which is argentum. So how are you going to remember Butler? Gold is Au. Well, gold's pretty valuable, isn't it? So you're walking down the street with your bag of gold, and someone runs up and steals your gold. What do you yell? AU! Right? But how are you going to remember that silver is Ag? What's more valuable, Taylor, gold or silver?
Gold.
Gold's more valuable. So now you're walking down the street with your bag of silver, okay, in your hand. Someone runs up, grabs your bag of silver. You're not going to be as upset because gold is more valuable than silver. So you're just going to go, G, A-G, G. All right?
Right.
So now at least you got 2 of them right on Wednesday. So what are the other Latin ones? We've got mercury. Hg, which is hydrogen, which from can't pronounce it because it's in Latin. We've got tin, which is Sn, which is stannum. We've got lead, which is Pb, plumbum, which we actually derive the word plumber from, plumbum. Someone who works with lead. We've got antimony, which is Sb, and the last one is tungsten. I am not sure if this is based off Latin or not. It's wolframite, and so there's a W. I'm not sure if wolframite is Latin or not, but I do know that these other ones are based off of their Latin names.
So we have to know the first 20 plus these.
First 20 plus these, okay? And like I said, you can retake your quizzes. Maybe on one quiz I might give you sodium, on another quiz I might give you potassium. So they're all of the same difficulty level. And I take the grade on the last quiz you take, not the highest. All of these are actually written in your packet on, I think, the 3rd or 4th page. I just thought it'd be interesting to have all the Latin there. Because you never know when you're going to have to speak in Latin.
Mr. Strauss, are the ones that you wrote in red the ones that are the ones you're
No, I was just switch colors because I like to switch colors. Now, pretty much any element on the periodic table can come as a single atom. So you can have a single atom of gold, you can have a single atom of sodium, you can have a single atom of calcium. But there are some elements that come in pairs. They're like Siamese twins. You'll never find one by itself, they always come in pairs. So these magic 7, the diatomics, are hydrogen, nitrogen, oxygen, fluorine, chlorine, bromine, no, chlorine, sorry, chlorine, now bromine, and iodine. So there are 7 of them.
Those also on our quiz.
Everything we're doing right now, it's going to be on your quiz. So if I were to give you I2, you would write the name iodine. If I were to give you chlorine, you'd write not Cl, because chlorine is not found by itself, you would write Cl2. The subscript tells you how many atoms of that you have. And then you've got a couple polyatomic ones there, Miranda. Phosphorus always comes as a foursome, P4. And sulfur comes as an eightsome, S8. So P4 and S8. I'll raise that back up in 1 second. I just wanted to show you that the diatomics are close to each other and they form an upside down L. On the periodic table you've got nitrogen, oxygen, fluorine, chlorine, bromine, iodine. So these guys are all, and then the hydrogen's over here. But the diatomics are all pretty much all next to each other and they form that little upside down L. But again, this stuff is just straight up memorization. So make your flashcards. Just study your notes over and over and over. On the very back of your packet, there is a periodic table, right? I want us to draw kind of a border, a dividing line. We start in that corner, and you're going to go down, over, down, over. Down, over, down, over, down, over, down, over, down, over, down, over. And then I want you to shade all of the elements on top of the staircase. There's an extra row here for the elements that have to be discovered yet. But we'll shade them in. Even though these guys haven't been discovered yet, we'll shade them in. So after you shade the top of this staircase, I want you to shade in the bottom ones and work your way up. But stop there. Do not shade aluminum. Everything to the left of this staircase, and when I mean staircase, I mean all the red shaded ones. Everything to the left are metals. Everything to the right are nonmetals. So everything to the left, metals, everything to the right, nonmetals. And what do you think we should call the shaded in ones? We call those semi-metals or metalloids. Aluminum is not part of that staircase. Aluminum is a metal, okay? That's why it didn't get shaded in there, Kyla. All these other ones are metalloids, except aluminum is a metal. Aluminum belongs with the metals. And we'll talk about their properties more in depth tomorrow, but basically metals are shiny, they form positive ions, they have low melting points and boiling points, they are malleable, which means you can bend them. Non-metals, they are dull, they are not shiny, they're brittle, they break, they have very high melting and boiling points. And then the ones in the middle, they have properties of both. So things like silicon and germanium, they are somewhat brittle, somewhat malleable, somewhat shiny. So metals form positive charges, non-metals form negative charges, and we're going to write above the columns the charges they form. Everything in this column forms a +1. Everything in this column forms a +2.